Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, but for our radio audience here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all could be with us. Also, joining us are our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all could be with us as well. Well, there are a lot of memorable dates in the month of April, but for a lot of people, the last Friday in April has a special significance that is recognized as Arbor Day. It's an opportunity for us to be able to recognize the importance of trees, which leads us to our great guest that we're talking to in this segment. We're excited to welcome Susan Tyler Hitchcock to our program. She's celebrating a new book from National Geographic called Into the Forest, The Secret Language of Trees. We're going to talk to Susan not only about the beautiful book, but also what it's like for her to share the value that trees offer to all of us and how we can be able to do our part to make sure we're showing appreciation for that. Susan, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Oh, I appreciate you asking me to talk with you. Thanks so much.
Hey, the pleasure's definitely all mine. Well, look, we're used to anything with National Geographic, Susan. We're used to having beautiful photos, and we definitely get that Into the Forest. But from you, we get, I think, a great commentary on the value and of course, I think all that trees do for us and what we can do for them. What has that conversation been like for you, Susan, to be able to have with the audience through a book like Into the Forest?
You know, I learned that in 1999 there was a pair of botanists who proposed that we all suffer from what they call plant blindness. That is, you know, we give our children stuffed animals. We take them to zoos. We encourage children to interact with the animal world, but not so much the plant world. And as I worked on this book, I realized we have tree blindness, too. Even I've grown up living on the edge of forests all my life, but I realized how little I've looked at the trees and thought about them. So I'd like to believe that my book, Into the Forest, could help everyone become a bit more aware of the trees in their lives, whether it is a forest or a park or even just a tree down the street. All of those matter, and all of those deserve our attention.
You know, there's so many powerful. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Susan.
I was just going to say that the science is really amazing to discover the health value of being in the forest, or even just looking out the window at trees. I love some of the words that the scientists have used to talk about the value of being in the forest. Attention, restoration. A few days or even a few minutes in the forest helps us restore our attention. Another word I love is soft fascination, that as you walk through the park, you experience a soft fascination, and it really calms and cheers you in a way that nothing else can.
Yeah, it's such a great point. I'm sorry, I was just going to mention, as you were talking, I thought about one of the things that really fascinated me about the book, as someone who has been told, Susan, that I'm not very observant. But I come from the South. I come from a family of not only farmers but also gardeners. And when I got to the chapters, The Underground World, it really made me appreciate something that we don't think about a lot. And I think, as you were just talking about walking through the forest and spending that time, we don't think about how all these things come about. We see what's in front of us, above the ground. But what was that like for you to take us down under, so to speak, to let us know about the inner workings and how it kind of goes along with other insects as well?
Oh, yeah. The roots of a tree are almost as big as the tree itself. And in that world, that underground world, there's not just soil. There are insects, there are worms, there are other creatures like that, and there is a whole microbiome. You know, we've been learning a lot about the human microbiome and how that is essential to our health. There is a microbiome of the planet as well, underground. And trees both feed that and depend on it. Some really interesting work is being done with this whole concept by the forest ecologist Susan Tyler Hitchcock, who contributed the foreword to my book. She is a professor in British Columbia, and she's discovering that through that network of of fungus and other creatures underground, trees actually send chemicals and other essences. This is how they communicate with one another, that they share life-giving essences underground and help one another. They really care for one another. Suzanne Simard calls them mother trees.
Yeah. And there's so many other things that we don't think about that come from trees that we benefit from. And I think, again, as we are coming up, of course, with Arbor Day this month, Susan, I think that's why a book like this is definitely fascinating and worthy, I think, for the family to be able to kind of explore together. Talk to us about the subtitle of the book, though, The Secret Language of Trees. What do you hope to convey with that, as well as, I love the fact that you talk about in the book the communication that takes place. What do you hope that we better appreciate about that?
You know, I think of the secret language of trees goes in two different directions. One is the way they talk to each other, underground and also above ground in the air. But the other is the way that they talk to us, what they have to share with us. Trees have been at the center of human mythologies forever. There's a sacred tree in the center of the universe in almost every tradition. And we can gain so much wisdom by paying more attention and caring for the trees in our world.
Such a great point. One of the other great chapters I love is Cycle of Life, Susan, and I love the fact that you kind of talk about that even for a tree that, that falls, there's still so much life that is there, and the life that benefits from it, not just us, but also, of course, others as well. I think there is a lot of awareness. I can remember having these really deep conversations, Susan, when certain movies came out like Avatar, and we do have certain movies that entertain us but also inspire us. When people pick up Into the Forest, though, what do you hope it does for them in appreciating not only the beauty around us, but also the life and the cycle around us as well?
I hope that it encourages people just to pay more attention to trees, to become more aware of the trees all around us, and to value them and honor them in a way that maybe they might not have done so, and to understand that the forest, if we think about that as across the whole planet, is an essential part of our world that we need to care for.
Love that. Again, everyone, Susan Tyler Hitchcock has been our guest. Her new book by National Geographic is Into the Forest, The Secret Language of Trees. You can get your copy through our friends at Amazon.com or through your favorite local bookstore. And make sure you guys are following National Geographic online at NetGeo. You can find them all over social media. Susan, congratulations to you again, and thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
So it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
More than welcome. And we thank you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.